posted, only 2% were filled within 2 months. Now, sometimes the hiring process just takes a while, but this also means there's a shocking number of instances where when we apply to a job, no one is intending to hire anyone, let alone us. Forbes went on to mention that 50% of these hiring managers were just trying to create an active hiring pool in case they ever planned on hiring. That's very selfish, but it could be worse. For example, some companies are listing job postings with no intention of ever hiring. They just want to look like they're growing to the outside. And then a lot of them are doing the employer equivalent of casual job searching. So they've got a job posted, but they're only going to interview people if the perfect person comes around. So first, my message to employers, stop doing this. Stop. We put so much time and effort into these job applications and hope, and then we feel like failures when you don't reach out, so stop. And for job searchers, know that this is not on you, and when you apply to jobs, you are not a failure just because you don't hear back. Most of the time, you never had a chance. Now, if we do want to be that perfect candidate who applies, there is still an onus on us. So to set yourself up for success, check out the resume resources in my bio. Selling yourself and your resume just got so much easier. We're going to use ChatGPT to create a customized, eye-catching professional summary for our resume in like 15 seconds. First, we're going to add this prompt to ChatGPT. Then we paste in the job posting we're applying to. Then we'll drag in our resume. It pops out something like this, which is great, but it's a little long. So we'll ask for a shorter version. And beautiful. And you'll just pop that in your resume here. To get hired faster and easier, check out my ebook, The ChatGPT Resume. How to never get hired again. Number 1, starting your resume with your experience. We need professional branding first, like this and this and this. Number 2, having more than 20 years of experience in your resume. Number 3 is using generic bullet points in your resume. We want this, not this. Number 4, listing the wrong company name in your cover letter. And number 5, starting your bullet points without action verbs. These are my favorite action verbs. Take a screenshot. Now you're addicted to being on vacation all the time. I'm not going to hire you. You're just going to need another 3 months off later. It doesn't look like anything's wrong with you if you have a gap. And if you have a short tenure at a job, that's also okay as long as it's not like a pattern.
I was at this job. It didn't work out. It's only 3 months. Leaving it off is maybe a smart choice. Would you address the gap at all in your resume?
No.
It's so small.
If it's just like a 6 month gap, like you don't need to explain it on a resume, especially if it's like your only gap. Do not get a PhD. I've worked with over 500 clients on their job search, and undoubtedly the group that has the most trouble getting a job are people with PhDs. The problem is, getting an academic position is extremely competitive. For any other job, you are intimidatingly overeducated, yet somehow also underexperienced for most aspects of the professional world. The only times I would recommend getting a PhD are the following. 1, you already have a very impressive slate of professional experience. I'm talking 8+ years of full-time work in your industry. Number 2, if you are pursuing a regulated career that requires a PhD. 3, if you could not picture yourself doing anything else but teaching or researching at a university. Otherwise, I would steer clear. This is not a strong career move. Now, if you already have a PhD and you're having trouble finding work, experiment with perhaps taking it off your LinkedIn and resume. Like this video and follow for more job search advice. And to better understand what the hiring managers are looking for, check out my free ebook, Secrets for Online Job Seekers, linked in my bio. And remember, you deserve a job you love. If you ever apply to a job and you get invited to a short phone screen or phone interview with HR, here's what to expect and how to nail it. I've personally done over 100 of these. These are not typically a full-on interview. It's usually someone looking to check a bunch of boxes and see if you're worth the time of the people who will actually be doing the interviews. One big question they usually ask in these calls is, what are your salary expectations? Now, they're not negotiating with you at this point. They're just seeing if they can afford you. So before the call, do a little research on what the expected salary would be for someone in this role. I recommend checking out Glassdoor. They have a lot of resources on this. And remember, you can still negotiate later. They may also ask if you have experience with certain software or equipment. We want to make sure we give them a clear yes. If you've used this equipment or software, you can tell them a bit more about how you've used it, but most importantly, just make sure they can check that box. Now, they may also ask some situational or behavioral questions in the interview, in which case you want to answer with the STAR method, which is situation, task, action, result. Companies are not doing return to office to improve the culture. They're doing it because it is so much cheaper for them if you quit than if they fire you. According to CNBC, companies are using return to office to encourage their employees to just quit so they don't have to pay out costly severance packages. This article came out 16 months ago. I still hear stories about this every single day. So this is all part of a very devious corporate movement that has now been branded quiet firing. Essentially, they're just making it so terrible for you to work there that you'll quit so they can save money. Other quiet firing things they're doing besides return to office include raising expectations to unreasonable levels, giving overly negative feedback so you'll feel bad at your job. This one happened to one of my best friends. Or they're giving you the silent treatment and not inviting you to important meetings. Unfortunately, this is completely legal, so if it's happening to you, it is your responsibility to find something else. For help with that, check out the resume resources in my bio. If you want to make more money without asking for a raise or applying to a higher paying job, I have got you. You're in the right place. So using this very TikTok account, I have met hundreds of amazing, fantastic, wonderful people who are willing to pay me their hard-earned money for my expertise, which, as you know, is resume writing. But do you have to be a resume writer to do this? Absolutely not. There are people out there who need your help with the exact thing that you are good at. And I bet you they are willing to pay a lot more than you think for your help with that thing. So if you are up for it, here's what I need you to do. Go to the link in my bio and download my brand new free ebook, Teach on TikTok, Your Ultimate 7-Step Pathway to Profit. Then follow my brand new TikTok account at Greg on TikTok, where I'm going to teach you exactly how I built this business and my following here. I tagged the other account down below so you can follow that. You deserve to get paid for your expertise, you deserve more money, and I want to show you exactly how to get what you deserve. How to tell your boss that you're job searching. And if your boss is even 10% more kind and understanding than a human dumpster fire, this will work wonders. Try saying something like this. I wanted to talk to you about my long-term career direction. I've had a really incredible 3 years here. And I feel like since working here, I've discovered that what I really want to focus on professionally is blank. And as much as I greatly appreciate all the work I get to do here, blank is something I feel like I'll have to look elsewhere to find. So I wanted to give you a heads up that I have started job searching. And of course, if and when something comes up, I'll be completely committed to being as helpful as possible during the transition process. I don't know that I'm going anywhere just yet, but I wanted to let you know it's a possibility. 12 words you need to have in your resume. If you don't have these exact 12 words, no one is going to invite you for an interview. And using these 12 words is proven to give you a 90% higher chance of getting a call back. Beware when people make bold claims like this online. Yes, there are magic words you need to use in your resume, but they're different for everyone. So let me show you how to find your magic words. Pull up a job you're interested in and copy all the responsibilities. Paste those into Google Sheets. You'll have something like this. In the next column, we're going to jot down the skill or equipment that was mentioned in that sentence. Then just make a quick note of a time you've used that skill or equipment like this. And these are your magic words.